Would you like to know how to unlock your door without touching it? Today we're talking RFID chip implants. We're with Jordi Lecoque, who has medical background and is doing RFID chip implants procedures. He's going to share with us his experience and explain some of the basics.
Can you tell us about yourself?
Okay, I went to the nurse school. That was the first thing I ever did. I grew up with computers. My dad was always busy with computers. I worked 6 years in healthcare and went from there to piercer and body modification.
Wow.
So we do a lot of things in the shop here. NFC implants, silicone implants.
You have a medical degree.
Yeah.
An MD?
A nurse, yeah.
No. All right.
Yeah. We work in the shop with the implants of dangerous things. So we have the NXT available right now in the shop and the Flex DF.
So, how many people are interested in RFIDs?
I do it now for 2 years, and I think I had almost like 12 people.
12. What do you use the chips for, mainly?
The most people, and also I use them for the door locks, because they notice like it's something we do every day. Take our keys, looking for our keys. So I tell them, if you take a door lock, you have the most interaction with it on a daily basis.
All right.
How do you see this training in the future? I mean, what do you see for the next 2 years?
I think more something like personal data. I don't know if you know the Vivokey.
No, what is it?
Okay, the Vivokey is a new project. It has a chip in it, an XP chip that does OTP. It's like a challenge code.
Yeah.
Like a second authorization, like Facebook and Google. You take your password and you get a text message on your phone with a second code.
Yeah.
So the Vivokey can do that in an implant. So
I'm interested in how did it all started? Where do you get the chips? Where is the technology developed? Do you just implant them, or are you developing the method as well?
Yeah, about the technology, it's very old actually. I ordered them from a company, like I called it previous Dangerous Things. The company that also do the development, but they have a lot of communication with the customers. And they develop them to make sure they're safe. It's bioglass, that's lead free. And they also work at the Vivokey at this moment. It's a group of people actually who works together on it in a group.
Do you have an implant yourself?
Yeah.
What do you use it for?
I use them for door lock. Yeah. Normally, I would use them to unlock my cell phone, but Android closed NFC application. Another thing is I have the Philips Hue light system in the house. I have a smartphone that's connected on the wall. So when I come in, the lights is gonna do what I prefer.
So one implant can perform multiple functions?
Sometimes.
And this is achieved via specific software?
You have an app for it. So it's very user-friendly. And then you have another group of people who just try to build their own things.
Where do you implant the implant?
If we have to choose, in the hand, between the thumb and the index finger.
Between the thumb and index finger, is the implant subcutaneous?
Yeah.
And what about how does it react? How does the body react to the implant?
Okay, the first thing you're gonna have is like inflammation when they put it in. and the body is going to capsule it into granulate tissue.
Yes.
And then it's just going to stay there as long as you want.
Does it require any batteries or?
No, nothing. The chip itself, it's passive. It's like the door lock has power. It's the door lock that's going to make a magnetic field so it can communicate with the chip.
It's induction.
Yeah.
So it sounds pretty safe and pretty cool. Have you seen any adverse long-term side effects?
There is a possibility that the chip can migrate. Like the chips they put in animals, they have a coating around it, so it grows into the tissue. But like the chips of dangerous things, it's just bioglass. That's two things. Like if you want to take it out in the future, you just have to make a small snip and you can pop it out.
So it's non-toxic as well, probably.
No, if you buy it from the right company, it's safe.
That's nice.
Just don't buy it on some strange website or on Wish.
So do you believe that a hacker could copy the identity of the chip?
I have the meaning like everything is hackable.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like when I put the first video online of the door lock, so people could see what it did. They're like, yeah, you can hack that thing and everything. And I'm like, there's a brick on the ground. Or in my window. If you really want to break something, you can do it.
So I can imagine that somebody would approach you and copy the identity of the chip.
Yeah, there is a possibility someone can copy the chip.
Yeah.
But they make it very hard to do because you have a lot of implants, a lot of types. You have MyFair, you have a different frequency for another chip. So everything has to be on the right path. Like it's very complex to hack it, but you really want to do it, I think it's possible.
Can you build your own custom software to allow for new functions and integrate it with the chip?
That's possible. Like I told before, the Vivokey, the NXP chip, that can do Java code. So it's very fresh. It's now waiting what people are going to do with it. But putting code on the chip, the chip is more the basic RFID chip. It's more like a chip that just puts some code out. But by itself, it can do anything with the code itself.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. So you said that most people are using this for door locks. Can you share some interesting usage for the chip? Something more unusual?
Something unusual. You have a secret compartment. It's like it's a company. They make wooden shelves. And when you go with your chip under it, it just pops out and you have a secret storage in it.
It sounds fun as well. Does the chip carry any personal information? Can you be identified?
Not personal. If you put personal info on it, it's your own choice. Like my girlfriend has her medical data on it.
That was my next question. So I imagine this to be really useful in a situation where you're unconscious and.
She can go in an anaphylactic shock. So she needs an EpiPen, and that's on the ID, like the ICE info of me. I know another patient, he has cancer and he has a lot of data by itself, and he has a cloud link on his implant. And
how can this data be accessed in the hospital? Are people aware that these things exist?
The hard part is most people don't know that it exists. Like I have a card behind my ID that says scan my right hand with NFC smartphone. So you can use any smartphone with NFC, and if you put the data open, it can open the link to the cloud with your info, or the text file that you put on it with your medical info.
Yeah, that sounds like a pragmatic solution.
Yeah, like people. I was talking with someone who works in a nursing home, and you have people with dementia. Like they could make something in the system that you can see if some patients already took their medicine. So they're not gonna have time to dose or anything. When you go into the hospital, I don't know if it's at your place, but in Belgium, people have a lot of wristbands with like they are allergic for antibiotic and they take pills for their blood and everything. Instead of doing 3 wristbands around someone, they just have their implant.
This sounds pretty safe, pretty useful actually, but due to numerous dystopic sci-fi novels, we can imagine that people would approach this kind of technology with some caution, maybe. Yeah. And how do you promote these types of implants? What's the average response?
You see a lot of negative things, but that's more because people don't know it and are afraid of it. If you talk to them, the most thing I heard is like, oh, people can track you. A lot of people, and we say, if the implant could track somebody, all my cats would have one. It's just it's not so dangerous as they think.
Yeah, it doesn't sound so dangerous when you explain how it functions. And as I hear, the benefits far more outweigh the cons. What is, from your experience when you interact with customers, with clients, what would be required to get this trend going?
I think that they show it to somebody else, and like I have it, I'm still alive, nobody's tracking me. I think it's just people have to see what it does before they trust it and believe it.
Yeah, so that.
And I believe that it's easier to track your phone with the GPS than RFID chip.
Yeah, really. That's if you are afraid of your security, just take your smartphone away.
Yeah, take everything away, like Facebook.
Yeah, the thing I want to say, like what I say to my customers, the chip implant is your choice. I have 2 things. The first thing is the one I put in people have no coating around it. So if they want to take it out, I take it out. When I put them in, I put them in the subdermal layer, not in a muscle. If I would put it in a muscle, it's really hard to get rid of it. So when I give it to people, I'll tell them it's your choice. If you want to take it out, we take it out. You put info on it that you want that people can see.
And how much does it cost to have an RFID implant? And is it expensive? Have anyone like? Is this a market that we wait to get more cheaper so more people can afford it, or it's not this is the case for technology adoption? It's more like needs more influence.
It's a small market, so you're always gonna have some companies that want to make it cheap, but that's gonna cost the quality of the product. I think if you're gonna buy some implant online, it's gonna be like 45, 55 euros. So I think the price is okay. If more people gonna buy it, it's gonna be cheaper.
Okay, so are we interested overall in biohacking? I mean, even with the start of the supplements, how do you eat, longevity, where till we get to the technology of to track your health, like heartbeat and other biometrics?
I think that's going to be the future. You have one implant already that can measure your body temperature.
How much does one implant cost?
The basic one, NXP, if you buy it online, is going to be like 55 euros.
It's pretty affordable. And how long can it stay in your body?
Always.
Always, for
Yeah.
years.
The chip is going to work for 120 years, 150 years. So it's getting older than we are ever going to be.
Nice.
Can you share us more about your work? Because I've seen from your Facebook page that you do other implants. Like I saw this guy with the skull over here.
Yeah, that was a silicone implant. It's made of medical silicone, like the plastic surgeons going to use in the face. The new Vivokey implant, that chip is going to be in that kind of silicone to take the bioglass away. Silicone, the skull that you saw, that skull is on my own. I can show it.
Show it.
Ah.
That's hardcore.
It's more like 3D flash.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understood it, the capabilities of the implant depend mostly upon the software. That means that you won't have to change your implant every year when a new version pops out.
Oh, oh no, it's more depend on the hardware and what you want to do with it. There's never going to be that one chip that does everything. More like you have to see, when someone comes to me, I ask to them, what do you want to do with it? And then we're going to see what's going to be the best type implant for them and what's possible, or can we build it?
It's more like a password, which is saying, this is me, you know. And you can use this password anywhere. So if I write a software for door lock, I can input the password here and in the door lock, and I can open it. I use it for my car or anything else. I can write a software which works on the cloud, and I can access it with my phone, just like authorization, like two-factor authorization, like Facebook.
How did you start? What got you interested?
I think I saw it the first time on the internet, and maybe because my background is medical and computer is a hobby, that was something that was like, okay, I want to have this, I want to play with this, I want to see what I can do with it. That was like 4 years ago.
And do you have any specific plans for the future?
At this moment, the Vivokey. I think for me, that's the holy grail of all the implants at this moment.
All right, so we should check that out.
Oh, sure, really do. Also, are trying to do wireless payments with your implant.
Okay. Do you know do you have any other colleagues who implant such chips?
Yeah, Amal Grasra is the best developer of the implants. I can give you his info.
All right.
He's also the one that makes all the implants in his company.
So another question is, have you noticed the trend about brain-computer interface? So right now, Tesla, the creator of Tesla, Elon Musk, is launching a company called Neuralink that is all about the interface of how we could connect a brain with a computer. Do you have any knowledge in that? I mean, interested?
I have not much knowledge about it, but I have an interest about it. The only thing that I'm busy at this moment are the finger magnet implants. Yeah, there are people that put a magnet in their finger so they can feel electronic fields around them. And
Like biofeedback.
Yeah, if you have them like 6 months in your body, so your brain needs 6 months to gonna determine what it's gonna do with the info of the magnet. But people telling stuff like, after half year, I can feel if a cell phone is on. I can feel if there is a Wi-Fi signal around me. I can feel the power lines in the ground under me.
Where do you feel that? On your finger? Or?
Most people do it in the tip of their finger.
And where is the chip, the magnet implanted exactly?
So for myself, I have one over here. It's very small. That's from glass. I have this one. I don't know if I can pop it up. This was a prototype, but it's too big. So we changed the design to silicone.
How many other friends do you have that have implants like that?
The big one?
Yeah, any of them?
I have like 12 friends around me who has them.
So it's like a small community.
Yeah, I've noticed like it started for myself with me, then a friend. It's like, oh, that's cool. I want to have it. And a friend of him is like, whoa, you can do that? I also want to have this. So it's more like when people see it, they believe it, they want it.
Do you have ideas for implementation of this technology? Like, do you have ideas for a software app, like for iPhone or for a smartphone that we could build and to be using that kind of chips or magnetic fields or whatever?
So Apple just started with all the NFC concepts. I've heard that for myself, I work with Android, but I heard that Apple have made everything open source now of their NFC. So I think iPhone has more possibilities at this moment. And what kind of apps, I don't know. I think the most important thing now is make it user-friendly.
Yeah, maybe this is the next step that we must think of, like how do we use this technology and how we make it efficient to the mass public. I mean, something more practical for the masses.
I think I noticed like when I put a chip in someone's hand, 9 out of 10 buys a door lock. And that's something they do every day. So when they trust it, they're gonna trust all the other things it can do in the future. Just like you have to put it in their daily life. And then you're gonna accept it and want to do more with it.
So can the chip store information?
Yeah, you can put in a text file on it. The big implant I have, it has more memory. I can put one JPEG picture on it.
And you can change that as well.
Yeah, you can change it. Like my girlfriend, she's a tattoo artist. If you put your smartphone at her hand, it's gonna open her Instagram account.
There is this guy on YouTube that implanted a whole Raspberry Pi inside his hand and collect some biometric data. But I think it's not sustainable right now to have such a big implant under your skin.
If you want to say it's big, if you're going to see to a pacemaker, that's also an implant. It's pretty big. Like the old ones from 15 years ago, I think size is not always the thing that's going to keep you from doing it. It's like, where do you going to put it in the body?
Yeah, because I'm interested in collecting biometric data, but right now all the data we collect is from the outside of the body. And I'm interested how this can be done from the inside of the body.
Yeah.
So let's say we have a temperature detector inside different parts of the body, so you can detect inflammation. From this, you can correlate with other diseases.
That would be a cool possibility. For myself, I'm still waiting like when there's going to be an implant that's going to measure your sugar in your blood.
That would be really nice. Marine and I, we are really interested in how food affects your thinking. So you can find out that foods with high glycemic index can affect your cognitive abilities. So if you have that kind of texture with how is blood sugar going, you can change your diet around that.
Yeah, and it's like when somebody has less sugar, they're gonna be more emotional. So you see that at their behavior.
Yeah, it's, the changes are acute, not only long term. Can you share if you know about some chips that try to measure such biometric data, some prototypes?
In the body, there's just one for in the body. The only thing it can do it's measure how if you have fever or not. But that implant comes from a pet ID. Do you know the external device that can measure your sugar in your blood?
I know a couple of them, and most of them like for clinical practice. I mean, if you're diabetic, you can buy one and have it implanted.
Yeah, I have two people I know who has them, and they're like, it's something good, but it would be so much easier if I don't have to put it on every day.
Yeah.
Every day, every week, but you see, like they have some inflammation from the glue of the device. That are things that's not so good. If you do it in an implant, you take all those things out.
Maybe this is the future.
Yeah, I hope.
If people accept that, but it sounds safer than the alternative options, external devices, phones, etc.
Yeah, it's gonna make a lot of things safer.
Yeah. Is there some topic regarding these implants which you wish to discuss? Something which we didn't ask, so maybe you can suggest.
I don't know something at this moment.
Thank you a lot for this talk with you. I hope we'll be in contact in the future and share more about biohacking. If you have interesting projects, just ping us and show them to the world.
Okay, I'm gonna send you some links. Thank you for your time. It was my first podcast ever, so
So thanks a lot.
you too. Have a good evening.